There's a certain electricity in the air, not just on set, but among fans across the world. A crackle of anticipation, like the moment before lightning strikes. The whispers have evolved into headlines, and speculation has turned into confirmation. Tony DiNozzo and Ziva David, the heartbeats of NCIS, are returning. But they're not just coming back, they're orchestrating the biggest event the franchise has ever seen, before a single frame has even aired. Act 1. The call that changed everything. It started with a call. Michael Weatherly had just wrapped up another interview, the usual chatter about past NCIS glories and his work on Bull, when his phone buzzed. The name that flashed on the screen, Code de Pablo. "Hey, Michael," she said, in that familiar voice, half smile you could hear. "I've been thinking." She didn't need to say more, neither did he. They both knew what she meant. For years, fans had dreamed of a Tony and Ziva reunion, not just a guest spot, not just a flashback, but something real, something with depth, drama, and that spark that only they could create. It had been teased, hinted at, alluded to in spin-offs and season finales. But now, it was happening. Only, they weren't just returning to reprise roles. They were going to shape them. They wanted to build something bigger than a cameo. Bigger than a finale. Bigger than anything NCIS had done before. They wanted to create a global event. Act 2. Behind the scenes of something epic. The idea came together faster than anyone expected. Call it chemistry. Call it fate. Call it the kind of creative synergy that only exists between two actors who've lived these roles for over a decade. Tony and Ziva's story was never simple. From slow-burn flirtation to deep, unspoken affection, betrayals, sacrifices, and a daughter hidden in the shadows. It was rich with untapped potential. Fans hadn't seen the full family dynamic, hadn't explored the years apart, the trauma, the healing, the what now. That's what Michael and Cote wanted to do. Not just pick up where they left off, but fill in the emotional gaps. And they weren't going to do it alone. They brought in writers they trusted. Some from the original NCIS team, others fresh voices who had grown up watching the show. Directors were handpicked. Even the composer was selected with surgical precision, someone who could layer old themes with new, nostalgia with tension. But the biggest surprise, they weren't planning a limited series. They were creating a cinematic event, a two-part global NCIS special, blending the DNA of classic episodes with the pacing, scope, and stakes of a blockbuster film. Act 3. The world is watching. Before it was even announced, whispers leaked, Tony and Ziva spin-off, NCIS Europe, but the truth was more ambitious. The production secured filming locations across Paris, Rome, and Marrakesh. There were car chases through cobbled streets, shadowy meetings under ancient arches, and intense interrogations in safe houses that didn't feel so safe. But beyond the action, the emotional weight was undeniable. The plot, still under tight wraps, is said to involve Tony and Ziva being pulled back into the world they thought they left behind. A threat that reaches into the lives of former NCIS agents across continents. A villain with ties to their past. And at the center of it all, their daughter, Taylai, now a teenager, questioning her place in a legacy of secrets and sacrifice. The script doesn't shy away from hard questions. What does it mean to live in the shadow of espionage? Can a family built on lies find real peace? Can love survive everything? And then there's the cameos. Mark Harmon is rumored to appear, not just as Gibbs in a memory or a voicemail, but in a pivotal scene that ties threads together from seasons long buried. Other NCIS alumni are also rumored to drop in. McGee, Vance, even Abby in some form. Each appearance isn't fan service, it's story service. Every moment matters. Every character returns with purpose. Act 4. The fandom awakens the moment the first teaser dropped. A slow zoom on a worn photo of Tony, Ziva, and Taylai in an old safe house. The internet exploded. Hashtag Tony and Ziva trended for days. Forums lit up with analysis of every frame, theories on every blink. Was that director Vance's voice in the background? Was that a Ring of Sand reference? Fans from Brazil to Tokyo to Istanbul reignited old group chats, started new watch parties, made fan art, and even organized global countdowns. And all this, before the premiere. CBS and Paramount Plus leaned in. Billboards in Times Square. Teaser trailers during the Super Bowl. A global fan event in Paris, where Michael and Coach showed up in character, answering questions with the kind of cryptic charm only they could pull off. They weren't just promoting a return, they were creating a movement. Act 5. Legacy redefined. It's rare for a franchise with over 2 decades of history to reinvent itself. But that's exactly what's happening. the Tony and Ziva event isn't just about closure. It's about rebirth. It's the bridge between old and new, the characters we grew up with, and the next generation poised to carry the torch. Taylai, already a fan favorite in teasers, is portrayed as whip-smart, emotionally complex, and trained in more ways than one. The production team hints this isn't the end. If reception is strong, there's potential for an NCIS legacy spin-off, with Tony and Ziva in a mentor role, guiding the next wave of agents, blending field ops with psychological nuance. But even if it ends with this two-part event, the legacy is already sealed. They've done what many thought impossible. Taken a beloved but aging franchise and made it feel urgent again. Emotional, relevant, unmissable. Curtain call. Before the lights go up, so here we are. A month before the premiere, and already, it feels like we've witnessed history. Not because of ratings or budgets, but because of the way it feels. This isn't just TV. It's something bigger. Tony and Ziva, once characters on the margins of a procedural, are now architects of something profound. A reunion, yes, but also a reflection of what fans want most, not just closure, but evolution. And the best part, it hasn't even started yet. Would you like a follow-up piece, like a character breakdown, episode summary, or behind-the-scenes article?